Hey, how's it going, everybody? What an incredible year it's been. A lot of the time, you go through the history, the tide of history, and so much of this year felt like you were just reacting to events that happened. Something crazy hit your front screen or your front page. Something crazy happened to your Reddit or your Twitter or your Blue Sky. And every day you felt like you were just scrambling to make it.
Like something crazy happened to the world, and that's how you find out about it, right? Like, it's been a crazy year.
Hopefully, at the end of this year, you can look back with actually a little bit of gratitude because you survived for another year on a planet where everything is trying to get rid of you. It's been, I just took today and looked back, and I felt so much gratitude. I felt so much of a sense of progress. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to Mosaic Live. We talk about Atlanta's urban life through a socialist lens. We also talk about history. If you hang out here, you'll just find great back videos and great back articles of just casual, open-ended conversations. And if you are here and you've been here for a while, then welcome back for what I think will be a great end-of-year review of an incredible, just a great feeling year of activism.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not a member of Mosaic, you should reach out to us and become one. If you are a member of Mosaic, you should absolutely be feel grateful and proud at this moment, because we sure have been getting a lot done. A lot of really great and inspiring people have been doing a lot to push our society in a better direction.
We've got to thank not just ourselves and each other, but the many coalition groups, the many partners that joined what American history could pretty easily refer to as a popular front, where people of all backgrounds and experiences stood for justice and their core fundamental values. Boy, if you're watching this, hopefully you did that too. This is a great time to look back, to feel awesome, and to just talk about ways that we can not just continue this, but can renew our commitments in an even stronger way. Think of this year, and it's crazy to think of this year as a year of getting your wings and preparing to fly, because so much fundamental stuff has been done this year too, that it feels weird to say just getting started, but they say it in the corporate world, so why not us? All of the progress that you've seen here, and at the end of it, we can say with a lot of confidence, just getting started, and that there's going to be even more to participate in the year to come.
In the corporate jargon, we are achieving metrics.
We're achieving metrics. We're circling back.
We're reaching high levels of productivity.
Say? It's been boy, yeah, you could say the word, I shiver a little bit, the word productive.
Yeah.
I say, where's my productivity free zone in life? But it's just impossible to have that attitude for long, because as you look at these stories, you'll be thinking about the time commitments that your friends and neighbors all volunteered to put this stuff together. Mosaic Atlanta, a completely volunteer-run organization. There's not some corporate sponsor or donor. Everything that you're going to see in this extremely exciting hour is not, I won't be describing things that are beyond your capacity to do now. So much of what you see on YouTube and social media is fake. You won't be intervening in a fake reality today. So congratulations for that. Enjoy this next hour, and it won't just be a flashback, although that's going to be really great. It'll also be a little bit of forward thinking and ways that we can all move together. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, so let's get into it. I mean, it's definitely been a busy year. A lot of important work is being done both inside and outside of Mosaic. Speaking of our funding, yes, it is you, it is us. As the treasurer, I've been working to cut costs and make sure that we are transparent and using the money the ways that we want to be as members.
Yeah. And, we've had so much success with fundraising in the past. a lot of people just talk about what they're doing with money and around money. I can definitely say with a full fact that we have bought warming centers, giving people food, giving people warmth, giving people shelter during a time when housing has been off the wall. Have y'all been paying attention to this stuff? It's the number one thing when I talk to people about how's your day been, how's your year been. If you've even got the time to listen to this and you're not thinking about the roof over your head, you're coming from a pretty strong and good position. All of you, when we talk about just the financial life, and it's great to say that it is true that this year we used money in ways that have been even more responsible, even more targeted. I think everybody in their work life and their home life has probably been thinking about ways to be more efficient with money. And we are certainly no different. I would say that the amazing series of things that you're going to see was acquired with, and I don't say this in a negative way, on a tighter budget than ever before. In terms of mileage per dollar, this is the most fuel efficient this organization has ever been. When we started, people gave out their money by the hundreds to help back the work that we did, and we spent that in ways that were very good and helped people very well. I want to talk about...
I want to also talk about the time, right? It's a matter of using these things that we're freely giving in the right way so that they have maximum effect, right?
Yeah.
We've been doing, we've been doing yearly socials to bring our people together, build community. You know, we had our May Day barbecue. We had our new admins come in. We've continued to do a lot.
The things you're describing so far have been things that have been yearly traditions inside Mosaic Atlanta since 2022, really late 2021. Holiday social. We usually have some great, cool event.
But like for this year in review,
just
to kind of go down it, May Day was great.
Another
we had some
great
really
May
good
Day.
speeches. Some members gave some really inspiring speeches, and I played some labor folk music for everybody.
Is it okay would you like to take a minute and talk about Mosaic Atlanta and the labor movement? Would you like to talk about labor activism in a broad sense? We've got enough time that we could probably spend a minute and talk about those things.
Yeah, but we should keep the flow of going through the year. May Day,
let's just say that solidarity with labor is pretty important to all of us. And even though we work and do labor events throughout the year, May Day isn't like Labor Day. Labor Day was added to the calendar as a way to make people forget what May Day was in its origins.
That's right. We celebrate the real May Day.
Yeah.
Every May 1st.
Yeah. And that's just been a great experience bringing together the entire labor community. And that wasn't even a thing that, our work with, can we mention the IWW?
You just did on the live.
They're often at these events, and we started that together. That wasn't a thing where one group did it and the other group joined it. That's been just a great co-promotion, and we've all contributed in our own ways, which has been great.
The IWW is a great group, and I am a member, and I think that if depending on your industry, some unions are also really good,
right.
But the IWW is generally the best labor organization you can join, and you can do that in pretty much any city in the U.S.
Let's keep going here.
Yeah, so later on we were participating with the, a lot of Mosaic members contributed a lot to the Coalition for Justice for Cornelius Taylor.
Yeah.
We coordinated with the Free Store to bring a bunch of free clothing down there and, assisted with the cleanup of their area where the old Wheat Street encampment was.
Yeah.
We came with them to City Hall to voice their concerns to the elected officials, the folks who lived in the same encampment with Cornelius Taylor, the man who was murdered by city bulldozers at the beginning of the year on MLK Day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because they were clearing them for a celebration.
Yeah.
which is so tragically ironic and like kind of it really captured people's attention because it's a perfect example of what's wrong with Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, that quote unquote march for progress, and thinking of the real individuals who are caught in that march is always worth taking time to do. And doing it along with the Free Store has been really great. We're pulling up. Are you going to?
Yeah, we have a video if you want to see here. Let's.
My name is Larice Jean. I'm the founder and CEO of Journey House International Center. My organization is the one who will provide the clinical case management as well as the substance use and mental health.
I'm with Mosaic Atlanta. We're one of many groups out here today with the Coalition for Justice for Cornelius Taylor.
What we're doing today is we're just rounding around Cornelius Taylor's family, being honored to be with them on today and helping to clean up, because this is not just an encampment. This is an encampment full of God's people, and we just can't just think that, because people are here that they don't have a voice. We're here to respond to the voices, to the cries that we hear.
Cornelius Taylor was a houseless man who was killed by a city bulldozer in one of the homeless sweeps. So we've been working hard to try and stop the sweeps from happening.
Words, belligerence, ignorance, and ignoramity.
It's inhumane, it's cruel to do this to people who are just living here because they don't have a home. Or they don't have a house, but this is their home. And so we're trying to help them clean up their home and battle the narrative that these places are dirty and need to be swept out violently.
They're too good to deal with their own shit. Can they eat it, or will they clean up themselves? I guess heaven only knows.
All right, y'all. Sorry about those video issues, but that was the video we produced. You saw other partners in the coalition all teaming up to clean up that area.
Seeing is believing. I know a lot of organizers who are frustrated, and they spend a lot of their time in meetings or interfacing with bureaucracies, and then they get together with their groups of friends, and then they look at a video like this and they say, why aren't we doing that? First of all, take pride. My first real piece of advice would be take pride in whatever you're doing. Don't ever feel like somebody else is doing something and you say, boy, I wish I was doing that. You really should think about what your own, you as a unique individual have your own unique contribution that you can make to history if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
But however, if this is work that you feel called to do, it's happening all around you. And the steps that you have to take aren't way off the world. They're right here in front of you. And if you've been participating with us for the last year, you don't have to say, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't I doing this? Why am I not a part of this? Other people are suffering or in the struggle, and why am I not there? With your donation, with your contribution of time, which is so generous, you are here alongside the people who are fighting for these issues. And well, I'll speak for myself. I'm grateful that you're here fighting for these issues, and I hope that that you are as well.
Absolutely. There's a lot of imposter syndrome going around, and everybody's real. We're doing some real work, and there's doing the work, and then there's talking about it loudly like we are right now. And a lot of the people on our side don't publicize it as much as the people who are working for the system will speak very loudly about all the things that they're doing, and we won't notice the little things that people are doing here and there.
Yeah, that proportion is what, when that proportion gets too high, you think, maybe I should go into politics. But anyway, what else happened this year? I mean, well, before we even move on, we should talk about the work that the Free Store does all around the year. Right. We kind of quickly brushed by what a great resource and partner they've been this year.
Right. I mean, we tapped that resource for the clothes in that case, but people can always go there for free clothes, and they can go there to volunteer to be a storekeeper.
Yeah.
And and hold the store down while other people come and get free clothes.
I want to talk more about free stuff in general, but let's just keep moving here through the year.
Yeah, follow them at Free Store ATL
For
on
sure.
Instagram.
Yeah.
But when we talk about getting into politics, for us, in a big way, it is not about running some guy to become the new mayor or the new governor and then betray all his promises and betray us, right? We're talking about getting everybody into politics, building a grassroots, direct democracy type system, and that's the work that we're starting on with the People's Movement Assemblies. We had one back in September that was mostly the People's Coalition to Stop Cop City organizing that, and we went there and took surveys of people's opinions, and we told people about Mosaic there and all of the things that we want to do. And for me, that is the real expression of our politics. It doesn't come in the state house. It comes from communal assemblies that we can build ourselves and then put the pressure on the politicians.
You said that so well that there's not much to add. If you've been watching the electoral system and feeling frustrated, I really think channel your energy in a way that suits the outcome that you want to see.
Yeah.
Now I know a lot of people like electoral candidates because there's just the aspect of score, and I do understand that the scoreboard is an insatiable curiosity for Americans. When you go to a carnival, you want to take your mallet and hit the thing and make sure that you hit a bell. But I think it's also worth mentioning that the exercise of power as organized by groups is not simply limited to the political arena. It does not simply exist in, you mentioned the State House, you mentioned City Hall. These are all arenas that an average person can go and enthusiastically be frustrated, delayed, or denied, and that can be really instructional, but it's not the only route.
Right. I mean, this comes out of having the whole Stop Cop City movement where we got all these petitions. People's Coalition to Stop Cop City got hundreds of thousands, like 100,000 petitions against Cop City, and it didn't do anything. And it's proof of our concept that this situation in the legislature, in the the state capital is not necessarily the politics to focus on. The real politics, we want to build people power. And it's not just a one-off thing. The People's Movement Assembly, it happened. It's going to continue to happen. People are going to continue to go out and canvass and try to get more people to come to more assemblies, keep deliberating about the issues that affect us. And we continued with that with our surveys. After the People's Movement Assembly, we surveyed opinions at the No Kings rallies that happened in October. And we made efforts to kind of bring a radical politics into those generally moderate spaces.
Aren't you guys all sick of being marketed to? It feels like everything has an upsell, or everything has shrink wrapping, or the portions of everything gets a little bit smaller. It's so great to create spaces where you are interfacing with the public and you don't have anything to sell, and instead you're shutting up and listening.
Right.
And by the way, listening can apply across the political spectrum. I think doing and we did other surveys this year, but I think No King stands out because of the broad ideology that we saw there. If you went to any of those protests, you interacted with a very broad and diverse group of white women. and it was just great to hear them and learn all of their perspectives. And it was just honestly great to hear. And what I'll say is, because when we talk about this, we don't have to project. So much of politics now is based on projection. You wake on the news and you turn on and there's doom scrolling, and people are making up fantasies about what other groups of people believe, or they're making up a fantasy about what you believe. With the No Kings protests, it was really great that, if you're a member here, you contributed to the discussion of that group is no longer simply a matter of exchanging fantasies or projections. We're able to stop a fantastical discussion by saying, here's what people thought. Here's what they felt.
Right.
And I think for literally any political group, if you're trying to analyze them, bring them towards some greater action, whether you're trying to separate one group from another, you name it. It's just good to have information that's based on real conversations. And for a lot of people, they would say there's just too much stage fright for me to do that. Or it takes a lot of time for me to get out there. And it probably is very tough individually. I'd be pretty frustrated at doing so much surveying individually. When we look at the results of this, and I happen to be, you guys listen to this. Here in my hand, are you adding to the static here? Are you peeking the button? Here in my hand, and if you're of a certain age, Rush Limbaugh or Neil Bortz or any of these radio guys. Here in my hand, I've got data from, this has the People's Movement Assembly on September 6th.
Right.
But we literally asked them about what their most important goals for society were, what they thought the most important threat we were facing, what they thought the most important issue in the city was, civil rights, the most needed reform. Do you know it in advance? If I tell you, healthcare, the most important issue locally. And we went and did that so that, we're not just talking into the dark. There was a little movement here, which is pretty cool. And hopefully there's more understanding. We as a group want to represent the big tent left, I think
people are so used to this form of system that we've gotten out of the habit of democracy.
Yeah.
And, people even have issue defining and articulate what they want to happen, from a problem-solving perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to sort of relearn through experiencing.
That's so well said. Go ahead.
Well, just moving forward, there's, like I said, we continue to do these surveys. We launched our podcast, Mosaic Live, that you're listening to right now.
Yeah. And this was a project that, first of all, just going back, it was great because we didn't have to start a brand new tradition. In previous years, if you're watching this, we did a Twitter Thursday and used Twitter Spaces. 2025 saw a lot of people leave Twitter, and we did a lot of recording. We started doing other podcast recordings. We did, first of all, when you look at the end result of a show, it's so easy to forget the amount of iteration and teaching that goes into it. It wasn't like we started this show just ourselves plugging the microphone. We did a different show, Urban Life.
Right.
We got multiple members to talk about their own life experiences. There was a lot of iteration that went into Mosaic Live happening.
Yeah, I would say it's common in groups like this for a program like this to get started and stopped and restarted, and people shouldn't get discouraged from the first sort of semi-failed launch.
And this went, you've been listening to it, and what I'll say as a podcast host, I'll say that this a pretty good format. We get to have conversations about political topics across the spectrum in a really relaxed and naturalistic fashion. I do a lot of interviews with women, and they often say, I can't really do a video because I'm busy with my baby, or I don't have time to put on makeup, or, just their face, their location. It was really cool to get back to a format where, and it's almost an unfair advantage because you're hearing this from a very attractive man. But it's good to have a little parody because your hair doesn't have to be on. You just have to have the great research that we all collected here as a group, and just that great information, and so that we're able to have like a relaxed discussion that also touches on wide ranges of history, gives a little bit of scholastic knowledge, and so that when you go to work or you do meet people at your complex or whatever you're doing, you have just a little bit of depth of perspective about the issues of the day.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend a couple of extra hours looking it up if you don't want to.
Yeah, we try to help, but also it's like I said, if you're doing these things and you don't do anything to tell people about it, for a lot of people, it will feel like you're not doing those things. So we start this to kind of get the word out and get our message out further than we could just by yelling in the streets.
When you are doing enough internal work, it does create a pressure valve. And just for any group of people to grow, you don't want to spend so much time doing like food services or donations or running a store or doing solidarity events or organizing your coalition of different organizations. And this is already a big list, and I didn't even give every example of what we did.
We want to do all those things.
You don't want to spend so much time doing all of them that you can't toot your own horn at the end of it. If you can do all of this over the course of a year, and there's enough excess capacity to make sure that it is replenishing, that other people hear about it, that they're excited about it, that they want to engage in it. Now, going into this new year, people don't feel like they've got to take on every aspect because there's a flywheel of sorts. You guys remember a flywheel? You would hold it in your hand and you would blow, and the air that it created would spin itself to some small degree. And doing these shows actually helps doing that. So we're definitely looking forward to you here listening to this, joining us on Mosaic Live in the future. Whether that's as a host here in front of the OBS or Discord, or just calling in and giving your 2 cents. We definitely
call in. We don't have a dedicated line right now, but email us a sound file or something. We'll take those. We'll answer them.
We definitely want to do
comment live.
Yeah, YouTube comments.
Yeah.
It's really nice. People can comment live.
Yeah. We'll check in a minute if anybody's been commenting, but let's keep moving with the tooting our own horn thing. The fall free fair.
This is
a cool thing.
This is the easiest thing I've ever done all year. Thanks to everybody who worked so hard so that I can just say, good job, everyone. The fall free fair was one of the high points of my year. As you guys know, I was out of town for a lot of this year. I was filmmaking and doing film groups and doing network, all kinds of cool stuff.
Right.
I got back into town, and the free fair was just like getting a welcome back hug. So many of the great groups and organizations that we work with all year had a little bit of excess. Do you want to shout out any groups or organizations that help put on the free fair?
I can't think of really any on the top of my head. I guess Rifat Mobile Library is great. They were there. We were doing our own little political education thing there called the Eat the Leviathan presentation, where we were talking about, the idea, the concept and philosophy of the Leviathan and like the state, how the state historically developed in ancient times, and the different ideas people have had about it and about authority. And so that was a pretty cool moment. We got into stuff about Thomas Hobbes, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, which we were reading about in the political education.
Yeah.
We got into like Marx and Engels' version of how they thought that sort of social evolution worked, and some of the newer stuff like what David Graeber's pointing out in The Dawn of Everything about these topics. So it was a was a fun, informative talk, and I'm really glad other members were able to help me with it, and also at the same time to be passing out flyers and recruiting people. It was definitely a good event for us.
Yeah, just a big shout out to everybody that joined us at the Friendship Center. There were so many groups and so many great groups that it feels weird. Who could we leave out? But Advocates of the South, Backstreet Rising, the mutual aid group for the old Wheat Street encampment. ATL Jail Support was there. Of course, the Atlanta People's Campaign, the Georgia Working Families Party, Raising Comrades did a wonderful set about just community solidarity and trainings. Raksha, which supports survivors of domestic partner abuse. Mm-hmm. I could really go on and on. Science for Georgia, that would just be me naming.
Much respect, much solidarity to all those organizations who helped it come together. It was...
To give one more shout out, mm-hmm. The New Heart Collective, who gave all that great food. We sure were eating their food all that day during the free fair. So I didn't want to shout out 90% of the groups and then leave them out at the end.
For sure.
Just so great.
So many people put that together, and it was a huge event, and it went very well. So
we did such a great job in that church. Got a nice crowd. People walked in. And when somebody tells you that...
Hopefully learn something.
Yeah, that was, and I would say, and I wouldn't even say this to brag, I would just say this is a simple statement of fact. We had one of the more academic and deep thinking presentations during that fair. Mm-hmm. It was very well researched. We've had the most well researched, if you don't mind me saying, presentation during that day. If you went in during Ether Leviathan, you ended up with a brand new perspective of history, of culture. There was handouts and shit there. You really got into it. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
What a great experience that was.
That was a group effort. That was a lot of effort.
Yeah.
We kept it going. We've been trying to keep a steady stream of events always happening to try to keep people engaged. And I think also not burning people out is a matter of, some people say, oh, we don't want to do things because we don't want to burn people out. I think it's about doing the right things that people want to do, that make them want to do stuff with us more, right? And, some people will get burnt out sometimes, but keeping engagement is very important.
There's always something happening, and it doesn't really all depend on you. So, if you're here, hopefully a lot of this stuff happened, and your attitude will be, I just want to join in. It's very hard to be the first person to do something and get it off the ground. It's tough to be that first follower. But then momentum builds, and you look back at a year and you say, wow. And it wasn't just one person that did it, and many hands make for light work.
For sure. Another happening that happened recently was our rally to against the war in Venezuela. Hands off Venezuela.
We talk about just waking up and finding new horrors on the news.
Right.
Definitely, there's always been an anti-war movement in the United States. Having the ability to mobilize whenever the president just wakes up on the wrong side of the pillow and decides to just start exploding things is just part of your mandatory work. And you don't always control when history happens. Everything can't go according to plan. So when the unexpected happens, are you out there by yourself? Or are you in a community of people? When you say somebody's got to do something about this, they're all saying the same thing. And they're saying, yeah, I'll be the person that does something about this. Then hopefully you will too.
Yeah, and we did. We were out there and hopefully can continue to make a sustained effort to oppose this war, because it's certainly not a one-off thing. But we had our rally. We delivered some strongly worded letters to major media companies,
Yeah.
in addition to protesting outside of the ROTC building.
Yeah.
And I think people had a lot of fun. Everybody was able to stay safe.
We went to all of Atlanta's big media companies that were in that part of town. We went to more than one, and yeah, if you haven't been to a protest before, and you're not sure about who to do it with, how to do it properly / safely, what a good opportunity this was. We had a pretty organized marshaled march, chants, signs, speaker, press material.
Yeah, we read the letters aloud as
Yeah.
well for everyone. So why don't we go ahead and play that video? Sound good?
Yeah.
We got a video from the rally. Here we go.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Seeing war crimes. We're seeing dishonor that hits all of us as citizens. We're seeing arguments that, hey, what's all of our place and our culpability in what's going on? The political class are all cowards. It's just, they demand incredible courage from working men and women to go and fight for them. But the people that are casting these ballots and filling out this paperwork, they are all chicken shit. So one person standing up and yelling at them and waving a sign is enough to warn a few of them off. And when 20 people do it, it does even more.
Hands off Venezuela! Hands off Venezuela! You do not have to be part of this imperialist war machine.
The admirals are quitting. The generals are quitting.
Rise up, America! Rise up! It is time to take back this country from these corrupt politicians.
We have a message for all of the major media stations here in Atlanta. Dear editors, we are writing to express our alarm at the repeated extrajudicial killings of unidentified civilians in the Caribbean and Pacific by U.S. military forces and the escalating risk of war against Venezuela. This is particularly alarming after the Senate failed to pass a war powers resolution that would have required congressional approval for military action in or against Venezuela. We demand that journalists report the facts truthfully and do not feed into the government's campaign of warmongering.
The Trump administration appears to be preparing for a war against Venezuela with the goal of overthrowing the current government. The president has sent a massive fleet of warships and warplanes to waters off the coast of Venezuela, and the U.S. has justified its dangerous military escalation by claiming that Venezuela is involved in the regional drug trade. This narrative is just completely unfounded. The majority of cocaine in the U.S. comes from places like Nicaragua, who the U.S. government funded during the Iran-Contra scandal, feeding into the narrative that this war is defending American lives from state-sanctioned gangs is the same kind of boogeyman that we saw in the Iraq War. This war is about imperialist control of natural resources, not drugs. So what should journalists do? For starters, not participate in the ongoing rush to war, in this aggressive and false rhetoric. The United States should cease its bellicose actions against Venezuela immediately. The last thing the world and the people of America need is another war. We are tired of losing our people to endless wars for oil and greed. The media must push back against this president's false claims. Venezuela is not the aggressor in this conflict. The Trump administration is. The people of the world need to know that Atlantans, like most people with common sense, oppose this war in Venezuela. Thank you for your time.
We're going to leave it right here. To the editor, Georgia Public Broadcasting. And let's hope that it gets to him. All right, yeah, that was our little video we produced, and Mosaic members were also active in protests against the Israeli consulate this year for to free Palestine, and as internationalists, it's very important to not just to show but to practice our solidarity with people in the global South who are being impacted by the systems that we live under.
You said it all. That video was the result of a lot of time and work. Looks great. Wish you were there, person watching. And you'll have plenty of opportunity as, unfortunately, the march to militarism continues and more people voice their disgust. You're always free to voice your disgust with all of us.
Yeah. Come to the next one, even if it's not ours. That statement came from a very broad coalition all around the country. So we were participating in a movement that is much bigger than us. But moving on, we are pretty much caught up now. We had last night our holiday social, which was awesome, is awesome, kind of still going on.
I feel like we did more, because the way that we've been set up is just our entire run as an organization is that it's pretty easy to contribute asynchronously. You don't actually have to be in person for everything that we do because there's research, there's outreach, and outreach can often be done at home with your phone. There's speaking, which can often be done at home. There's social media, which can often be done at home. It's good to have social things that are in person, where you can leave your house to do something without necessarily knowing that, you're not going to have to expend your energy on anything except yourself and the people around you, and just sharing your life and your memories and everything that makes life good.
It can't just be work, right? As a team, we have to spend some time just hanging out and getting to know each other to even be able to work together well. And in the end, it's not all about work. It's about
just giving you
enjoying life, building community.
Yeah, it's these other people who need to be stressed out right now. For you and I, the goal of us working together as a group is so that the capacity to do all this stuff and impact all of these things that we've talked about in this hour. And by the way, if you're watching this and you are an hour in, 50 minutes, it's time for you to become a member. MosaicAtlanta.org. You're going to find that membership link right there on the top. You're also going to find like a couple of hours worth of videos introducing you to protesting safely, coordinating your time with your friends and neighbors, taking on City Hall, finding contacts in the business and wider community, finding activist connections. And by the way, this stuff is not, this isn't some hidden vein of knowledge. This is knowledge that you're going to have and share with the community around you, which is just great. You're not going to be the only person who knows how to do this stuff. And
I strongly believe, it's great that we make and put out the videos, but I think when people really learn it by doing.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to get in the habit.
You've got to do and explaining and publishing, and that's a stool of what you're doing, and hopefully it comes with the mastery of repetition. But I would say for just years of this group's existence, and hopefully into the future, it's just where you spend your hours and days is more important.
And I mean, before we get to the whole group, let's just tell people the holiday social, right? It's been awesome. We've spent, like a whole day here hanging out, working on Mosaic stuff. And last night we were just having our holiday party.
Yeah.
I want to shout out a member who I will not name made a very generous donation of this space that is just awesome to hang out in. We got fresh food here, and we've just been having a good time.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and this is a no bullshit allowed space. If somebody were on this live and they were bullshitting, I'd just be like, what are you doing? Stop that. Time's too valuable. The process of organizing a lot of events, whether you're a primary or you're a member of a coalition, and by the way, as we look at all of these events, and you can go back and use your own head, whether these events are things that are co-founded or co-promoted with a single organization, whether they are a standing resource that you're tapped into and deploying, whether you are working with a large group or doing an investigation, or whether you're doing something all by yourself, whether you're doing publicity, whether you're just celebrating, whether you're involved in active protest.
You mean like researching? That sounds a little weird.
What I'm saying is that all of those things, because all of those events that we've talked about, they all had different types of capacity. It's not like we're celebrating a year of making widgets. These all require just slightly different. We went to different places and met different. They were all a little bit different. What it all had in common was just the group effort. And the fact that we all asked people what they wanted to contribute, what they could contribute, and they found ways to just happily throw it in. I mean, all of this represents commitment, people's surplus commitment and capacity.
And we do need it. Things are good with Mosaic, but we also need funds, we need volunteers, and if you want to throw in, do not hesitate to reach out and become part of Mosaic.
Show your approval if you like what you're seeing this year, and you feel like not only am I proud to be a part of this, but it's something that I want other people to take pride in. Mm-hmm. These are the things that I recommend as solutions when I have frustrating conversations with my friends. When my friends are down and they feel hopeless about the organizing work that they do, I often tell them that they should start going out and connecting to the labor. They should start showing more empathy for the houseless and oppressed. They should start engaging their time and resources to use the surplus resources of their neighborhood to help each other. They should start politically organizing and finding groups of people to do the work that puts pressure on city council outside of elections. We should start talking to the left on all directions, gaining their opinions and integrating it into what we do. You might say we should talk about the work that we're doing and promote it in a way that people can watch, read, or listen to. I could go on and like all of the... If you go through this entire list and you say, this is the kind of stuff that I like to do, then I'll tell you how. $5 can get a person up and back if they live nearby. $20 can get somebody he's just going, your monthly commitment is what's most important.
It can be nothing. We have waivers for people who are financially not able to pay.
Even if you're financially not able to pay, I bet that you have an intermittent period where you have some money. I bet there's time that you've got money for a cold beer at the end of one day this year. I bet on Independence Day you've had an extra $5 for one beer. And
take that cold beer. We're working for you, but either way.
Take that cold beer by all means, but also remember that you probably have more than one beer this year. This is a.
You only get one per year.
We're not on a rational. Yeah, we're not. You're not on a ration system. But think about the fact that I've just got to say this out loud. Everybody's going, no, don't say that your $5 could buy so much printing material, so many flyers, can continue so many conversations. But I just have to say that $5 or $10 can give people the ability to go somewhere, or to hold up a flyer, or to have a message that resonates.
And what I think is a lot more important is your contribution can make this work happen or not. You can say, hey, you can come to a Mosaic meeting and say, here's what we should do this week, and I'm going to do those things. And that changes the world. Isn't that great? That's what it's all about. So, yes, join Mosaic. Even if you don't want to be a member, show up and participate is also huge. And if people don't do that, then we have no group. We have no events. So we always want people to feel welcome to come out and feel a little bit of pressure, the responsibility, right? Of we all got to do this together. And we're trying to organize to make that easier for each of us. But I guess from there we can maybe head on to what's coming up.
It's not like a celebration lasts too long. We're right into a general meeting on the 4th of January, New Year's Eve, noise demonstration at the prison.
Yeah,
you guys all know that stinky prison in
the jail,
DeKalb
County Jail. So that is every year. And we want people to come out to that every year. It's a tradition in the Atlanta activist community to make our voices heard really loud so that the people inside can hear that we're still out there as abolitionists fighting for them, you know?
And January 11th?
Well, the January 4th is our general meeting.
Yeah, I know. I did mention a general meeting, and we can go all into we could spend 10 minutes and say, your vote matters, setting agenda for the incoming year. What are your political priorities? What are the things in this outline that you wanted to see more of? We talked for an hour.
Yeah, I don't think people want to hear that for 10 minutes, but we can just,
you did ask, so what is a general meeting? Which of these things did you want to see more of? You have a voice.
Yeah, it's your place to say whatever every Mosaic member and everybody who just wants to contribute something, come and tell us what we should be doing better, what you want to do, you know, and we all do it.
These are events that happened across the city of Atlanta, so there's no, you can't say, I'm in Stone Mountain and I'm too isolated. I'm in Smyrna and I'm too isolated. I'm in Griffin and I'm too isolated. I'm in Brookhaven and I'm too isolated. I'm in Peoplestown and I'm too isolated. There's really not at all. I would say that as a group, there's a broad capacity across this city's borders and boundaries, across inside and outside the perimeter, and just jump in. And even towards the middle of the month, January 11th, we do just phenomenal political education here. And if you can find the friends, the time, the focus or attention to learn more about history and learn more about just the stakes of the moment going into 2026.
With learning more about history, you mean the political education, right? That's
when you say political education, most political education is in fact about history.
Yeah. So that's coming up too, January 11th.
We got a venue yet for that?
It'll be the Corner Cup Cafe Tucker.
Corner Cup Cafe in Tucker
at 3 p.m. So we're going to be discussing the book Intimate Direct Democracy by Modibo Kadali, who is kind of a legend in the civil rights / like black liberation movement here in Atlanta. He's written extensively on social ecology and Pan-Africanism. And this book is about basically the struggles against slavery that happened before the American Revolution. And maybe in early American society, like before the Civil War. So we'll definitely check that out. And I have a video actually from him to show everybody to close out when you're ready.
Well, we've covered so much ground. Hopefully you've hung out for an hour and you're just feeling inspired, motivated, proud, good, better than you felt an hour ago. I feel like, boy, I'm looking at a whole lot of success. And hopefully you, the person that's watching this, you feel like you've got a lot of success too. Let's
Yeah. Just to hindsight the political education,
Yeah.
like we covered a lot of stuff this year. We read Rousseau. We read Marx's The Civil War in France by Marx.
Yeah.
We've been doing all kind of stuff that has been we did Conquest of Bread. I think that was this year. And as we talked about last time, we read the Declarations of the Lacandon Jungle, possibly some of the most important historical, like whatever you want, treatises, manifestos to come out of the Zapatista uprising in Mexico. So I know I've learned a lot from that group this year. So hopefully you will join us January 11th. And yeah, sure. You want to? Okay, we got a question. How do we choose what to read for the political education? And that is pretty open, pretty democratic. We just kind of throw out some suggestions and then we all vote asynchronously, and we just all try to read and talk about whatever was voted on. Although, sometimes there will be kind of a condition if somebody says, I want to read this kind of thing this time. And their vote will go to that. So there's that going on. Thank you for the question. Anyway, I think we're ready to close out. And I'll leave everybody on some words from Modibo Kadali. Mm-hmm.
We at the Autonomous Research Institute for Direct Democracy and Social Ecology would like to
Hold on, sorry for those video issues again.
Express our undying we at the Autonomous Research Institute for Direct Democracy and Social Ecology would like to express our undying and unwavering solidarity with all of the grassroots elements who are fighting to preserve the forest in the face of urban sprawl in Atlanta, Georgia at this time. We want to let you know that you're doing something that will help us all save the planet. It is a common cause, and we must not give up one blade of grass, one tree, or anything, especially in the face of this cynical attempt by certain elements to make this some kind of progressive move. The forest should be maintained locally by local people for their own purposes. And they should continue to organize under their own authority to continue doing what you're doing. Do not give up. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them disguise anything. It's a raw land grab. So just go ahead on and stand your ground and make sure you defend the forest, defend nature in every green space you can find in the Atlanta area in the face of this urban sprawl, because it's looking ugly on the map.
All right. I love sharing that video with people. I couldn't have said it better, but that's what we've got ahead of us. So, we hope you can join us. And either way, we're having a great holiday season. So happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate, stay strong out there. And again, congratulations for surviving another year on a planet where everything is trying to kill you. You've done a great job, and hang in there.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah, that too.